Ganesh and the Moon. Ganesh, the charming elephant had a god adored by so many for his generous face and clever antics. He is also known for his wild infatuation with all things sweet. He is often depicted with a bowl of sweet blessed food in his palm, which is never far from ingesting. Despite his love of sugary foods, he is a master of yoga, taking after his father Shiva. Ganesh knows how to balance indulgence and austerities, leaving him with a flexible, albeit pudgy figure. One of his exploits, Ganesh actually consumed so many sweet cakes that his belly was full to bursting. He decided it was time to head home and relax his stuffed belly. So he hopped on his trusty steed, a tiny mouse. Because the mouse is such a small vehicle, Ganesh has to practice extraordinary balance to keep his hulking frame on the erratic creature.
The pair was grazing smoothly along when a very long cobra slithered onto their path and frightened the mouse. The mouse darted one way, and Ganesh fell the other. When he hit the ground, his overstuffed belly exploded and sweet cakes rained everywhere. This greatly perturbed Ganesh, who was upset not only by the cobra's disruption of his ride, but at the loss of the sweetfulness of his tummy. He walked around collecting all the sweet cakes and stuffed them one by one back into his belly. Then he snatched up the cobra and tied it around his waist to shin it shut. All the while, the moon, Chandra, was watching the extravaganza and couldn't help exploding into laughter at Ganesh's crazy antics. Who indeed could resist? Ganesh was very upset to be the object of Chandra's laughter and a fit of anger. Remember, he is a Shiva's son? He broke off his right tusk and hurled it at the moon. Pierced by the tusk, Chandra's light went out. Ganesh cursed the moon, so it would never shine again, leaving the earth continuously lit by the sun, with no night, no dawn, and no dusk. Love was lost to the world. There was no place for romance, and men and gods alike became scorched and hopeless upon the hot earth. Ganesh was holed up in his palace when a group of gods came to appeal to him to allow the moon to shine once more. Flattered by their appeals, Ganesh decided he could agree to a compromise. He will let the moon shine, but it will be required to wax and wane, shining at its full potential only once every 4 weeks. This, he decided, would be a permanent lesson for the moon, so it would remember never to laugh at him again. As for Ganesh, he always carries the broken tusk that signifies his momentary rage at having lost his balance.
Well, here comes the moon's lesson. One of the greatest lessons the yogi can learn is that everything we experience has an internal source of energy, as do the sun and moon. Within our bodies, the sun and moon occupy opposing halves. The moon presides over the left energy channel, which we call Ida Nadi, and the sun presides over the right one, which we call Pingala Nadi. Ideally, we strive to seek a balance between both sources of light, basking in the moon as much as the sun, and learning to wield both types of energy as we progress upon our path to enlightenment. Ganesh may have taught Chandra a lesson, but the real lesson here is that, steeped in only sunshine, all love is lost from the world. There is no softness, no shadow to define the landscape of our heart. Without a dawn or dusk, there is no halfway point in which we steal away during those wee hours of perfect balance between night and day. Within our yoga practice, we learn the truth of that age-old wisdom, as above, so below, as without, so within. As with the sun and moon in the sky, so with those in our heart. And we seek to find as much joy in the shadow and lunar places of our existence as we do in the bright and solar places of our life. Hi, welcome. Today we are going to work on Ardha Chandra Chapasana. I'll give you the instructions how to enter the pose. But before entering the pose, let's analyze our asana today. So, in Ardha Chandra Chapasana, I'll show you the pose directly and we'll get to analyze it through so that it is going to help you which parts you should warm up and get ready for the pose. This is Ardha Chandrasana. And when I grab my foot and open my foot and chest, this is Ardha Chandra Chapasana. So, what I do? I have muscles which I use for flexion and extension, and especially for the chest and the shoulder, we need to open it. You can also look at the pose downwards, like it is much more something like this, right? So, what we need to do, I need to flex my hip flexors. It is going to help me to bend my knee much more easier. I need to flex my shoulder and my chest. I need to strengthen my leg, which is going to stay on the ground. And I also need to open my hips. As you see, it is the rotation of the leg. It is just like, going to the Trikonasana. Instead of going through the Trikonasana, I bend the knee and put my hand forward. After warming up, and as we get ready, you can use also blocks or yoga straps to make it much more easier and accessible for you. Stand in Tadasana first. Engage the muscles and feel your mat, feel the earth. Now open your feet much more larger than your width apart. Turn your right or leg, no, it doesn't matter at the moment, but I'm going to tell you just on the right way. So turn your right toes towards your shorter part of your mat and let your hips stay aligned as warrior two. You can either bend your right knee or you can go directly with the straight leg. Open your arms and go towards the floor. Now you can use Trikonasana or also Parshvakonasana to get ready for the pose. When you get ready, you can put your hand down or you can use a block. So it can be a Papa Bear, it can be a Mama Bear, or it can be the baby bear. Whatever you like to use, just choose it. I'm going to use the mom one. Put your hand on your block and look down on your mat. You're not going to move your drishti in another way, because if you move your eyes to right or left or forward, your torso and your body is going to go in that direction. So what I do, I look down on my mat, just in front of my foot, and I still keep my hips open as warrior two hips, and put my block forward and lift my left leg. As soon as you lift the leg, sometimes your hips may come into like warrior three position. Open the hips and use your muscles on your side. Now you can open your arm, bend left knee, and try to reach with your hand to your foot. As soon as you reach it, open your chest and open your left leg. If you are too comfortable with it, turn your drishti to the side. You can stay here. To be much more comfortable, if you don't feel yourself safe and you have doubts, okay, it could be. So welcome to it, and use a wall if you wish to, and try to be much more stable in Ardha Chandrasana. And after becoming much more stable in Ardha Chandrasana, you can leave the wall because you are going to bend the knee, so you need to leave the wall. Or if you are going to feel much more comfortable, use something like a chair to hold the chair and bend the knee. Or you can use the yoga strap before entering the pose. Put your yoga strap under your foot and hold it with your left arm. And come into Ardha Chandrasana first. Here, after being stable at the pose, try to bend the knee and hold it much more closer to your feet. Now, open it. Hips aligned, shoulders open, chest open. Here is Ardha Chandra Chapasana. And slowly, while I'm leaving the asana, I'm not going to forget about the dynamics, which means that I'm not just leaving the pose in a hurry. I'm being slow, following my breath. Exhale. Come into Trikonasana or Parsvakonasana. Inhale. Come into Warrior Two. Exhale. Release the pause. That's it. You are there. See you next time.